Okay, let's take a look at our assignment for next week. So this will be assignment 2, which is layout A. And when you get done with that assignment, zip up all your files and just submit it here. And just drag your files right in here. So for assignment 2, we're going to be constructing a generic schematic, recreating one page layout from scratch. So this will be writing a page of HTML and then a page of CSS. Using the basics of creating the box model with CSS, which I talked about the box model in this week's lesson. And that has to do with margins and padding, which you're going to need margins to kind of help move these boxes away from your container and try to get them placed in the certain areas you're trying to get them in. And I'll cover that here also in a little bit in this video. But for getting started, Mr. Lundquist already started some videos, and those are in the resource video. So watch these first to get started. They're here in the resource section. So resource and videos, and if you come down here, you'll see it here. Begin explanation of assignment 2, and then there's a second part and a third part. And I think the third part didn't have sound, but you can still look and get the code and kind of see how it ends up getting finished up. And how those look, you can see here. Video 1, get your HTML together and starts putting together your sections. In video 2, we start using the CSS to color and give them sizes, but they're all on top of each other. So in the assignment, or I'm sorry, in the video 3, then we use the clear and the float properties in order to get it all to fit together. So next I will get into the box theory. The box model. Okay, so let's get started with our assignment 2. And so let's go into our code. I'm working in Sublime Text on this one. And so if you watch Mr. Lundquist's videos, he has already set up an HTML page. And so we have our HTML tags, and within those we have our head tags, and we have our body tags. We have our div sections within the body, and we have our title section, which I renamed that to assignment 2. And we have our link to our CSS sheet, style sheet, which you can see in here. So this is my assignment 2 demo. And in here we have our index file and our style, our .css in that same one. So I don't have a folder, so it's just style.css. Okay, so this is our HTML, and this is my style, what I have already done here. I have my container done and my masthead. So I have a background yellow, and we're going to change the width and the height. So let's go back to our sheet on what we're going by. So this is our layout. So we want our container to be the largest area. So that's going to be right here. So that'll be our 1,000. And our first box will be our masthead, and that's going to be 80 for the height. So 1,000 for the container's width. So let's go ahead and take a look at that CSS. So the container, we said we wanted that to be 1,000. So let's change that to 1,000. And our masthead, I believe we said that was to be 80. And let me go ahead and get up. Let's see, did I want here? And I'll go ahead and drop my file when we can drop that in here so you can see this is what was already there. So now let me save this and refresh. And so there, my masthead is now 80 height, and you can see my container is there. And I'll go into my index, file my HTML, and I'm going to take out the container. So here on our layout, let's look at the next piece we might want to put in. Let's try adding this, what looks like a square right here. So I'm going to put that within our masthead. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. Get rid of the masthead text. And I'm just going to paste it in there. And let me change this to, let's see, let's do, how about SQ for square, and we'll do mast left, MAST, and I'll just do LFT for left. So I'll probably need to go back and copy and paste that because it's so hard to remember for me. I'm just going to copy and paste this on my CSS. So I'm going back in. Sorry, I'm going back into my CSS styles sheet now, and we'll give that tag some CSS there, and see if I can remember what I wrote with that. I said that was square mast LFT, and we'll make that background about orange, and height, let's make it small, and we'll do width and do the colon, semicolon, and we'll give that also a 10 pixels. Let's maybe give it a border. We'll do that. Let's see. If I remember, let's see, 10. A solid color. And I will do 10, oops, maybe 2 pixels. And don't get rid of that space. There we go. Okay, so let me see if that's square mask left. Is that right? Yes. Okay, let's save the files. And let me see if I can find my browser, and there it is right there. You can kind of see it. Smaller than I thought. And I don't see the border. I don't know if I did the border right. So let's, in order to make it a little bit bigger, Let's add our padding. Oops. We'll say that we'll give it 20 pixels. So this is one way you can kind of get it to be larger. So we'll do save. There, we made it a little bit larger there. Now let's try giving it. So we added the padding to make the square bigger. And, you know, we could also do it in the height or width. So this is just another way to do it. Now let's give it the margin, which will be right here. I know I didn't float it left. I guess we could float that left. But since it's at the default, it's already floating left. Let's go ahead and let's give it a margin. Margin, let's say 10. I'm giving my colon, semicolon, then I'll go in and say 10 px, 10 pixels. Save. Okay, that's interesting. It didn't go all the way around. So it should go all the way around because it's not just left. All right, so let me go in and actually put my float in here now. And let's float it left to see if, and save. Let's see if that corrects that. Yeah, there we go. So that floats it, and so now our margin will go all the way around it. And maybe we'll make that margin, to get it a little bit more centered, maybe make that 15. Let's see, solid. Let's make the border, let's see, red. Whoops, I cannot type. That's why you'll see me copy and paste a lot, because I can't type. Save. And maybe a little bit smaller on here, get a little more centered, maybe 12. Yep, that looks good. Now let's add our other boxes on the left. If you look at the layout. So where's my layout? I lost the layout. Here it is. So we got these several boxes on the layout. Let's go to our HTML and we'll add some boxes there. Let's go to our index, and these will also be within our masthead. So let's, I think this was 4 of them, right? So so here's one. Let's change that to square mast, and we'll do right. RGHT. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy, paste. There's 2, 3, and 4. Okay, well, now let's go over and see if we can get these squares to show up on our style sheet. So let's go ahead and copy and paste this one and just change it. So we'll change that to our name. I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste the name. And we're going to want to float those to the right because they're on the right side. I'll say those looked a little bit skinnier. So on our padding, let's bring our padding down to about 5. And I think they're a little bit longer, so width, let's give the width like about, let's try 30 and see if that works. And no, that did not work. And probably because I had the same name here, I copy and pasted the wrong name. So let's copy and paste the right one. It'll let me. It's not even let me select it. Will that do it? Let's see. There we go. And so let's save my files. Save. Save. Okay, that's a little bit better. Now they still look a little more squarish. I thought I'd change, maybe I didn't. I might have changed that back. The width, let's change that to, let's try 50. And let's see what that does. So save, refresh. That looks better. That looks pretty good. Let's try maybe, let's see if we can try margin top. Dash top. Oops. And we'll do 30 px. Whoops. I did it on the wrong one. So cut, paste. Sorry. There's what we meant to do. Okay, let's go back to our layout and take a look and see. Maybe I'll help with one more getting this next one started. So we want this one, the height, to be 600. So let's go to our HTML. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste one of these div sections. And I want this next section, since it's going to be below the masthead, I'm just going to put that right here underneath the masthead section. And I'm going to change the name something easy. I'm going to change it to top. And remember, save. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to copy this. Paste, copy and paste. Remember, I'm going to change the name of this one to top. Let's change the background color. I'm going to get rid of the float. You can maybe do clear. So I'm going to change the background to red. I think the height, I think it said 600. We shouldn't need the width. Because it's putting, oh no, yeah, that's already 1,000. We can try it with a border. Guess we're not going for looks on this one. Let's see. We don't need any of the margin or padding. It's going to be our container. So let's try that and see if that works. Save. Pray. Okay, so there we have our next section. Okay, the next thing we'll put in, let's look at our layout again. Go back to our layout. And I think the last thing I'll do is I will put this box in there. And for this, you can think about the math on this too, because we do want this to be in the center. So let's think, if this is going to be 1,000, let's say this might be 300 and over here, and if that's 300 over here, that gives us 600. So 600 minus 1,000 would be 400, right? 600 minus 1,400. So that would make the width of this 400. So we could try that. So let's go ahead and make another div. This one's going to be inside of our and maybe we'll call this one top content. And let's go in here and I might copy and paste this one. So copy and paste. First rename it. Sorry, I got all these trying to clean it up a little bit here as I'm going. And top content. And we want that to float. But as it doesn't matter either way, we can put float at left or right. But we'll go left. Background. I'll do yellow. Yellow. I think I said the width I wanted to be 400. And it's kind of rectangular, so let's see, maybe the width, maybe 300, we'll say. Should we give it a border? Go back to blue. Margin. So there we want I said our margin left we want to be, and we want our top to be a little bit different, so we might give it a margin top. Our margin left, I believe I said, let's see, it was 400, so 300. Is that right? 300. Hopefully I don't have all this math mixed up. And let's try saving and praying and see if that works. And it did not. Maybe because I didn't save my index. Yep. I forgot to save my index file. And somewhere, ooh, this turned out okay. The size, I think the box looks a little too, the height looks a little too deep from what the layout looks like. Let's look at this. So did I even put a height? Maybe because I had some padding in there too, which I probably don't need. We'll do, I guess we'll try 200. That looks better. Now margin top. Oh, I only put 12, that's why. Let's try 200 on the top. See what that does. I'm going to command minus this so I can kind of see it a little bit better, the whole thing. And I did it on my browser. Command minus on a Mac. That's very central. So that looks pretty good. If I wanted it to be center, I'd be okay with that. I probably would give it a little less margin on the top, and then we're going to add another, like a rectangular square down here, which I think I'm going to let you guys go ahead and finish that up for your assignment. And let's go back and look at the layout. I'm not too concerned what colors you use. You can try to make it look pretty if you want, but if you want to just to try to get the exercise to work, I just want to see these as squares and rectangles and blocks. I mean, I suppose you could put some text in them if you wanted to, but as far as I'm concerned right now, just use blocks and try getting used to the margins and padding. And email me if you have any questions.